12 o'clock hour of the lunch break, Tuesday edition of the show. Chris Schubert here with you. Appreciate all of you joining us here today on the program. Producer Evan, you want to point at me with any more news? The Cardinals sign a wide receiver or anything? No?
I got nothing.
Just pointed at me.
Listen, it was a mistake. It was so reactionary.
Clearly, you just like pointed, like I did something wrong. I was like, did I say something improper?
Well, at first I snapped, and then I was like, oh, we got it. Like, because we were talking about it, and I was like, oh.
So you do realize that if your microphone is off, I'm in a soundproof room. I can't hear you snap if you were trying to get my attention.
Yes.
So you snapping, you're the only one that heard the snapping.
Yes.
Okay, I just want to make sure that we're on the same page of how this radio thing works. You've been doing great so far in your first month of being the producer. Today, not a great first hour for you. I won't lie. That was a tough scene, just pointing at me. It was a radio vehicle, and I was looking the other direction. I was looking at the camera for the YouTube audience, and I just, out of the corner of my eye, just see your hands fly up into the air. I thought at first something was terribly wrong, and then my next reaction was, did a trade happen? Did something just happen? And then you're just like, yeah, no, Kevin Ginkel's back.
Yeah, I just got excited because we were talking about it. Felt like good timing.
Okay.
My bad.
That's fine. That's fine. Just making sure that everything is okay over there. Hour number 2 of the show. Appreciate you all being here. We talked in hour number 1 of the program today about the Cardinals and what they were able to accomplish in the draft, and how was there any other major moves that we wanted to see this team do? And we said no. We said that mostly all of the hay is in the barn, that they've done a really great job. And they've done a really great job because their mission statement, which was, hey, we are going to improve this defense. Our defense is going to be better. We are no longer going to have the excuse that our defense is what let us down. And I think out of any of the off seasons that Monty has had here in Arizona, this is one where they went all in. They pushed all the chips into the middle. Josh Sweat, Dalvin Tomlinson, Calais Campbell, drafting Walter Nolan, drafting Will Johnson, defense. All of their picks but one were on the defensive side of the ball. They pushed all of those chips into the middle, and they said this defense is not going to be a topic of conversation. We are not going to allow this to be the weak link of this football team. And so that led me to think about this. Are we now in a place where the defense is the strength of this team, where the defense is going to be what carries this team? Are we now in a world where the offense is under the microscope more than the defense is? Going into the offseason, the offense didn't play terribly. The offense was fine. It could be better, but the offense was good enough. The defense was a problem. The defense had its fair day in the sun where they were good. That 4-game winning streak that they went on was in large part because of how well the defense played. But the second half of the season, post-bye, a lot of their struggles can be contributed to the defense, I think, just running out of gas. I think about the game they played up in Seattle, the first one. The defense, I thought, played well enough to win. Their offense just did absolutely nothing. It was both sides of the ball certainly played a role in what happened after the bye week, for sure. But the defense was something we were worried about even when they were winning 4 games in a row of, is this sustainable? Is this defense going to continue to do this? Because they're kind of doing this with smoke and mirrors right now. They've got a bunch of guys that are hurt. They don't have the guys up front. They didn't do a whole lot at the trade deadline. Like, at some point, this house of cards is probably going to come falling down. No? And it did in the second half of the season. But with all of the investments that were made, paying Josh Sweat big money, bringing back Calais Campbell, bringing in Dalvin Tomlinson, Darius Robinson being one of your draft picks from a year ago, Walter Nolan being your draft pick in the first round this year, adding Will Johnson, all of the heavy investments that you have made defensively to this team. Are we now at a place where there's no excuses for this defense? They have to be great. They have to be one of the best units in football. When we talk about great defenses next season in the NFL, the Arizona Cardinals need to be on that list. Does it need to become the strength of this team where the defense is shutting things down and now all of our focus and attention goes to, can the offense hold up its end of the bargain? And I don't want to say that it needs to be the strength of this team, but it certainly is the strength of this team. And it goes back to a long-standing view that I've had about this season for the Cardinals. And I'm sure many of you agree. This year's about Kyler Murray. This year is his last chance. This is it. Kyler is in put up or shut up mode. This team is either going to break through and make the playoffs and win a playoff game and show that all of this work has been for all the right reasons and they've made the right decisions and sticking with Kyler was the right call and the slow burn that they have gone under for the last 3 seasons is going to pay off. That is what this season is about. That falls on Kyler. And we said, this season is about not having any excuses across the board. And so ask yourself, with Marvin Harrison Jr., with a revamped offensive line over the last couple of years, with James Conner, with Trey McBride, and I can't say this anymore. I used to be able to say the highest paid tight end in the league. I cannot say that anymore after George Kittle signed his new deal today with the San Francisco 49ers. But one of the highest paid tight ends in the NFL in Trey McBride. So Marvin Harrison Jr., a revamped offensive line, Trey McBride, James Conner, one of the best offensive units that Kyler Murray has had since being here in Arizona, to go along with the best defensive group that has been together at least since Monty and JG have gotten here with all of the investments. Guess what? I know many of us are on the fence about what the Cardinals are going to be able to do this season. We're still not sure. But why aren't we sure? The reason why we're still up in the air, the reason why we don't know what this Cardinals team is going to be or what they aren't going to be next season is because of the quarterback. I'm not going into this season wondering, can this defense do its job? I know this defense is going to be much improved. They are going to be a better unit than they were a year ago. I know that Marvin Harrison Jr. is an extremely talented wide receiver. I know how good Trey McBride can be. I know how much of an impact James Conner can be on a football game. The one question we all still need to get answered is Kyler Murray a franchise quarterback? And this year, there are 0 excuses. So they invested heavily on defense because it was an area that they needed to improve, but also the investment heavily on defense in free agency and in the draft, it has put us at this point. There are 0 built-in excuses on this roster for Kyler Murray. This thing, his future in Arizona, is going to be directly dependent on his play.
We've talked about it before, but this is the first year that it feels they're even capable of getting out of this contract. This is it. Yesterday we highlighted, is this the most talented roster he's ever had on both sides of the ball? We compared it to a few years ago when they had the 10-6 team that had the second half fall apart and then the wild card game. All of that comes to, what does 2025, 2026 look like for Kyler Murray? And I think that if they add another receiver to that room, there is no excuses whatsoever if they don't go. I don't even want to give them a number on wins, but if they don't look much improved.
Yeah, save that for the win-loss game next month, please. We have to wait for the schedule to
come out.
Yeah, please. We don't want to give away our predictions way too early. We got to wait for the schedule to release, and then we'll give out our way too early predictions in the middle of May for the NFL season. Please. It's April. We got to save this. That's a May topic. It's still the end of April. Please.
Isn't it awesome how much the NFL controls the year-long schedule?
In May.
In May, everybody's going to highlight, I think the Cardinals could go 11-5 this year.
For us, it's not going to be May 14th because the schedule will get released later in the day, so it'll be the May 15th show. But May 15th, I can tell you right now, we are already going to I can tell you now on May 15th what we are going to do. We are going to play the win-loss game for the Arizona Cardinals, and we're going to talk about how tough their schedule is. It's what we're going to do, and we're going to make predictions, and it's May, and we're going to get ready for the football season. May, and we're going to do this. So, yeah, I mean, the NFL is the sport that runs the sporting world. I mean, it is a machine. It is a beast that every single day something is happening. I mean, every single day something is happening in the football world. And I think to your point, the end of this year is the first year where they can really get out of this contract if they want to get out of it. And it's a contract that they didn't agree to. It's a contract that they didn't sign. It's a contract that they inherited. It is a quarterback that they inherited. This is it. This is the year, because I'm not wishing this, but unless there is just injuries galore, like there are so many injuries that the Cardinals set a record for salary that's on the injured list, I think this defense is going to be a top half of the league unit. I don't have the statistics in front of me, but my assumption would be that in almost all major statistics that you would look at, the Cardinals were in the back half of the league defensively last season. I think right now they are a top half of the league unit. And so if they make that flip, they are going to be able to impact games defensively. They have the talent offensively. It all comes down to one guy. It all comes down to, is Kyler Murray, with this roster around him, ready to be a franchise quarterback? And we've had this conversation before. Many of you have heard me use this analogy in the past. Some quarterbacks are trucks and some quarterbacks are trailers. The truck pulls the trailer. The truck pulls the rest of the team, gets the most out of the rest of the team, and elevates them to another level. Other quarterbacks are trailers, and they need the truck to pull them. Whether or not you think Kyler Murray is a truck or a trailer, in either scenario, if he's the truck, this is the best trailer that he has had to pull since getting to Arizona, I would say, in many respects. From a coaching perspective, from a roster perspective, from a consistency perspective. If he is a trailer and he needs to be pulled by the truck, this is one of the best trucks that he has had since getting here to Arizona, to be able to pull him and make him great and be able to have him get the results that this organization is looking for. But it all comes down to what he is able to do. There are zero built-in excuses. I don't want to say they were excuses last year, but you started the season wondering aloud, how many games can this team really win because of their defense? Like, their defense is a real sore spot. And it's going to require Kyler Murray in this offense to score 30-plus points every single game if they want to have a chance to win. I mean, we were saying that before the season begins. Going into this year, we're going to say this defense is going to have the Cardinals in the game in the fourth quarter. They're going to have a chance almost every week, if not every week, in the fourth quarter to win a football game. That means a lot of opportunity for Kyler Murray to show, for once and for all, his last chance to show that he is the franchise quarterback that this team needs.